we were on the other room. So, Sri Shivakumar Kalyanaraman, CEO of ANRF, and Sri Ashish Khanna, Director General of International Solar Alliance. I guess he is also finding his way to come here. Just try to call. As you all know, energy is the foundation for not only AI, for everything. Life is driven by energy on Earth, and that comes from solar or sun. The foundation layers of AI which you talk about are all on energy, and our utilities. Traditionally, till last century, electric utilities were considered to be very laggards in technology adoption. After the Y2K and other trials and tribulations with the utilities gone through at the turn of the century, and automation and IT systems started maturing, their confidence in trying new technologies increased, and as a result, 2 decades down the line today, all new technologies have applications in the power sector. Artificial intelligence, blockchain, energy storage, all new technologies which has emerged in the last 2 decades are successfully being implemented. When it comes to AI, it was disparate systems in different utilities. So 2 years ago when we looked at it, even in India, several utilities have implemented certain systems, but there was no uniform what to implement, how to implement, what is the benefit. There was a fair amount of confusion in utilities. So we thought of preparing a handbook, compiling the details of what successful AI, ML, robotics use cases in various utilities across the globe. So it was not an easy task. We went around, we made a standard template, wrote to utilities whom we know across the globe, requested them to share data. Very few of them shared data, and that too, those who shared, they shared limited data. As a result, the handbook which we have, Reena, do we have a copy of the handbook? Yeah, just show me one. As a result, this handbook which we published in November last year, this has 174 use cases which we shortlisted after studying more than several hundred use cases covering power generation, including renewable energy, power transmission, power trading, power distribution, robotic process automation, security operation centers, etc. And thereafter, several new things which you have seen, and we shortlisted 174 use cases from 35 countries, and about 40 plus use cases are from India. So this handbook, we also covered the policy framework. What are the governing AI, robotics, and also the standards evolving. Several standard development organizations are working actively on development of standards. So this covers all that in one concise book, although it's 300 pages plus, but it's a one compilation where you could find all this with links. So we are trying to get the other 2 speakers from the other room. Yeah, there he comes. Please come, sir. And Ashish is in the other room. Reena, you can go and get him. He's coming. Okay. So when the first draft was ready, we sent it to some peer for reviews. Many people have given us a very valuable comments, which we incorporated and published this in 2025 November. And we also wrote in this, we are open to take comments from people from around the world, and we will come out with a better edition maybe end of this year, and with more use cases. And many of the publications which came later, some of them which are released 2 days ago, yesterday and day before in this AI summit, also refer to this publication, which utilities and other practitioners in the industry found very useful. Thank you very much. With this, we'll invite Ghanshyamji for his opening address.
Good morning, everyone. I think all charged with AI, right? So, I think let me at the outset thank ISGF for inviting me to be a part of this particular important session today. And I think we are coming from a very, very other important session which was happening just previous to this, wherein P2P was being discussed, peer-to-peer concept was being discussed, and which has been already I think launched, right, Regi? Has it been launched? Yeah. But in a small scale. Now the use cases what Regi was talking just now, probably we have no other options but to identify good amount of use cases and try to see where all we can have it in the energy sector, and in particular in the power sector. Some of the things definitely, of course, one which has been already shown by India Energy Stack, but probably we need to have something which is in the core of the power sector, and that is applications in the power systems. Particularly in the, I take it from the very basics, that can our planning process improve using AI systems. Planning means you can have resource adequacy planning, you can have transmission planning, you can have distribution network planning, distribution power purchase planning. So n number of things are there which needs to be optimized in the power sector. So first part where I see it happening is in the planning space, which is very, very low hanging fruit. Of course we had been doing to some extent, but I still feel that huge amount of churning is required in the resource adequacy plan, which we started around 3 years to 4 years back. We have reached a certain level, but huge amount of other improvements are required to be done. Similar happens with the transmission, distribution planning as well. Then comes the operation part. Are we really having an optimal operation in the grid? That's a question we keep on asking ourselves, even though we keep on claiming that we don't have outage at the large scale. If we are able to manage the renewables to an extent that even more than 50% of renewable have been integrated into the system, but still we are able to hold the grid in a right manner. But again, we keep on asking, are we heading towards something which needs to be corrected at this point of time? And if so, can AI help in making the operations better and better each time that we think of? It divides into two aspects. One is the grid operation part of it, and the second is the management of the local area in terms of the distributed generations, or even in terms of the microgrid and mini grids, etc., etc. Now, third, very, very important is the asset management. How do we really, are we really managing our own assets, particularly in the distribution segment, in a manner in which it is supposed to be done? Or are we over purchasing, or are we under purchasing? All these kind of things that is there, and probably here again, I feel that still we are not doing in a right manner, and we need huge amount of optimization that is required, which can which can save cost and also the time of restoration, etc., etc. Resilience, reliability. Reliability is another factor. Probably, I think we keep on talking about the resilience and the reliability in so many words, but even though we have achieved certain quantum of reliability, I'll say, to an extent, but if you really go towards the rural areas, probably you'll feel that still the kind of reliability and quality of supply that is needed into the system, we are far, far behind that kind of achievement. If that is also to be integrated in a similar manner, what we are trying to do in Delhi, Mumbai, and Hyderabad, etc. So, what are the things that is required to be done? This is a question which we should keep asking, and can some of these tools can help us in doing this? Nothing can happen without a good policy and regulatory space, and I feel that huge amount of things that is required to be done in the policy front as well, because many a times what happens is we know the problems which we try to solve through the policies. Many a times we succeed, but most of the times we fail as well. So how do we reduce the chance of failures, and how do we increase the probability of success? Probably AI may help us in doing that. Some of the things in the regulatory space, particularly, you must have seen that huge amount of litigations are happening in the power sectors. All the regulators, whether it is state regulators, central regulators, or the appellate, they are all loaded with the petitions. How do we reduce these kind of litigations? Can something be done by standardization? Maybe a standardization of change in law, standardization of force majeure conditions, all these if can be listed. Can we have the entire churning of the entire process of tariff determination itself, which can be made transparent, wholly transparent, and can be made automated, so that at least you don't need to have those kind of delays in terms of the issuing of tariff orders and then revalidating it, true up, etc., etc. So can that be done? Can the transmission license or the trader's license be issued in a simple and a very transparent manner through a portal itself? No need to file a petition. I have seen there are a number of cases wherein the issuance of transmission lines gets delayed by a year or so. It keeps on lying with the regulator and they are not able to process it in that manner. So if we can avoid these delays, which is a paperwork, which the developer and the same timelines can be passed on to the developers, probably the faster development of the infrastructure can happen in this particular segment. Capacity building, another very good use case wherein AI can be helping the power sectors. And particularly, and lot of initiative have been taken by various departments, wherein modules have been made, the capacity building programs have been done, but I still feel that a huge amount of work is required to be done in these areas as well. So I'll only say at this moment is power sector is opening up and huge amount of opportunities, use cases are waiting for this kind of innovative solutions. And I think we need to catch up and we need to speed up so that at least we don't fall behind anybody else. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Ashish ji ka kahan gaya? Yeah. I have the honor to invite Sri Ashish Goyal, Chairman UP Power Corporation.
Thank you, Pillai Saab. My dear colleague, my respected colleague Shri Ghanshyam Prasad ji, Chairman CEA. He has been I would say, a very knowledgeable voice in the power sector now. My old friend Ashish Khanna ji, Director General ISA, all the esteemed panel, esteemed participants of this session. I come with a perspective from a DISCOM. Earlier, what used to be all IT is now all AI. So everything is AI, but what AI is, nobody understands. How to do it, nobody understands, but everything is AI. So we have artificial intelligence and natural stupidity. So number one, as a DISCOM, what I want? Number one, I want people who know what the use cases are. ISGF has very fortunately come up with 174 use cases all over the world. So I want use cases. Bring me use cases, I will give you order. Bring me use cases, I will engage you. Nobody brings me use cases because people are not conversant with the power sector. So what I suggest, there are youngsters who have ideas, there are youngsters who know about IT, who know about AI, but they don't know about the power sector. But we have a lot of our retired employees, many people who have put in decades of work in power sector. They are experts of power sector, but they may not know much about the IT or AI. Can these two not join hands and bring value to the sector? I hold retirement functions at the end of each month. Whenever my engineers are retiring, I tell them, don't sit idle at home. Join with youngsters, come up with some use cases, come up with some value creation. So there is a lot of value to be created in this field. Right now, we have this problem of people having energy, bright ideas but no experience. And on the other hand, having old ideas, huge experience, but lacking in the modern practices and understanding of AI. If these two combine, I think it will bring a lot of value. And who will bring such people together? They need to be platform, maybe ISGF. Please, you have contacts in both kind of, you traverse both the worlds. So probably some startups which have both old and young people, they will bring value. Right now, I need people who can understand what use cases I need and who can implement them. Number 2, procurement. It is a very big thing. How do I make a procurement bid for AI services, for use cases? How do I value your knowledge? It cannot be an L1. It cannot be a QCBS. What price do what value do I give to your service? So procurement is a very, very difficult thing. And ministry or CEA may, like REC has come up with Powerthon. We are engaging with those vendors who have won Powerthon, but we need much more institutional clarity on how to procure AI services from the market. They should not, well, we should not be taken for a ride. So that is a very, very important thing. Even if we know such people are good, how do we take them on board? I will give you an example. There is a party who has won Powerthon. They are doing the GIS mapping of the whole electricity infrastructure. The total cost for the whole state will come to around 200 crore rupees. So how do I give a tender to one party for 200 crore rupees? But I know they will do it, because the alternative before me is another offer which is more than 800 crores and which is not reliable if I do it in the old fashioned way. So I'm stuck. How do I go ahead? So for a very small ticket size, I can take the risk, but not for a big ticket size. So how do I move forward when we are scaling up these use cases for the statewide or DISCOM-wide applications? So these are the two major questions before the DISCOMs, which is preventing us from adopting AI on a huge, large scale. The other thing that we have made an organization called Oriented DISCOM Association, and different DISCOMs are in different stages of digitalization. Nobody knows what should be the ideal roadmap for digitalization. So we are discussing this in our association. Let us create a roadmap which is common to all. It should have checklists for different departments. There can be technical checklist, can be a commercial checklist, procurement checklist, quality control checklist, specification checklist. So we can create a roadmap for the whole DISCOM, for all the departments or all the verticals of the DISCOM, and what should be the nature and the face of the DISCOM, say after 5 years, after 10 years, and what should be our digitalization roadmap. Since we are in AI Summit, I am talking about digitalization. For other conferences, we will have technical and other matters also. So what should be our digitalization roadmap? If there can be a common digitalization roadmap, it will bring clarity to both the industry, to the DISCOMs, and the capacity building can also be done in a very planned manner. So all these things need to be thought of. I am very happy to announce here that with the collaboration of IIM Lucknow, we have recently launched an MBA course for power sector professionals, which will be, the first batch will be starting this year. And this is open for all the power sector professionals from all over the country. So for capacity building also, we need a concerted and a joint effort in this area. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We'll now invite Shivkumar Kalyanaraman, my ex-colleague and friend during my IBM days, and also CEO of ANRF. I hope most of you know what is ANRF.
Thank you, Raji, and my respects to the dignitaries on the dais. And I will start with where Raji left off. How many of you know about ANRF? Okay. So, how many of you know about a 1 lakh crore fund called RDI? Okay. All right. So, it might be good for you to check it out. Okay. So, anyway, so Anusandhan National Research Foundation is a new statutory body. We are only 2 years old, and I have taken office only about 10 months back. So I don't blame you for not knowing us. That's number one. And so the role of Anusandhan National Research Foundation is to help transform and help the rise or catalyze the rise of India as a research and innovation powerhouse. Okay, so since it's a panel about power, I want to say that that's our mission statement. Of course, we have two major vehicles for driving our work. One is a patient capital program called RDI, Research Development and Innovation Fund, which is a 1 lakh crore fund. There, the purpose of that fund is to make an asset class happen for a first of a kind or early stage research and development in the private sector. That is only for a private sector fund to help translate and scale innovations, translate and scale research, development, and innovation intensive innovations. So please look up that. As right now, the government, the Honorable Prime Minister announced this fund on November 3rd, and we have already operationalized this in the last 3 months, and we have already given out 4,000 crores to intermediate fund managers, and there is the rest of alternate investment fund managers are being evaluated. We expect to close another round of allocations by April or May. So then there will be a large amount of money available for patient capital in the sector, in the RDI sector. So what that means is patient capital means either soft loans, which are long dated and low interest rate, like 4% or 5% interest rates, but for a tenure of 10 or 15 years. But to help translate innovations that can be leapfrog in nature, research, development, and innovation intensive in nature. So therefore, we would expect that industry would collaborate with academia, take those technologies. When I say academia, I also include the research labs, the power labs, and others. Bring technology both from India and also abroad. But at the same time, there has to be significant value addition in our country so that we become Atmanirbhar and drive these transformations. So the goal here is to really drive a lot more financing for the deep tech sector in general. So that is the RDI fund. The second part of our program is a grant program where we are doing both foundational support like the National Science Foundation in the United States, or like DARPA, where we are doing mission mode or challenge mode programs. And I look forward to working with my colleagues seated here from the government on various things, as well as we are working with line ministries as they operationalize their missions in various areas. ANRF will be partnering with various line ministries. Since ANRF is a neutral entity in government, we are a statutory body that is presided by the Honorable Prime Minister himself. So we work very seamlessly and collaborate with different parts of the government. And I'm happy to report to you that we already have launched multiple mission mode programs with several ministries, several departments, not just the scientific departments like ICMR or, I came from a panel just now on AI for science and engineering, where we are partnering with MITI, the India AI mission. We are partnering with DRDO, we are partnering with DBT, with the Ministry of Earth Sciences on weather and climate forecasting, how to use AI for some of these things, which has an implication for, renewables forecasting and so on. Since I come from this area, I used to serve as the CTO for energy, so I'm familiar with some of the problems in this sector. So, in addition to that, we are doing projects on medtech, critical raw materials with the Ministry of Mines. We'll be launching a drones program shortly, and I look forward to talking to Honorable CA and others to see what we can do a lot more in power sector. I've been challenging ISGF to come to me with opportunities where we can drive challenge mode programs in these areas as well, right? So please take advantage of IGSF, and and also I'm pleased to see several of your use cases. But when we are funding, Anusandhan National Research Fund is funding, we will look at root node problems. What are the core hard problems to be solved? And then once that is solved, of course, in some cases we do open IP and those sorts of things, which will help the entrepreneurs quickly translate that into impact. I also come from the industry. I spent half my career in industry. I used to be in academia before, and I've worked in this sector before, and I look forward to more collaboration. So that's the message I want to leave with you, and I look forward to learning from my learned colleagues here about the challenges, and then where AI, especially since I've been in applied Gen AI and other things in my past roles, I think we can quickly collaborate and to do substantial things. Thank you.
Thank you, Shiv. We'll now invite Sri Ashish Khanna, Director General ISA.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you to ISGF for giving me this opportunity, and my friends and colleagues, Mr. Ghanshyam Prasadji, Ashish Goel. Great to meet Mr. Shiv Kumar also. Let me first start by talking about two things. Why is International Solar Alliance in the AI Summit? We are in the AI Summit because of two parts. First, of the 1,000 gigawatt of solar that happened in just last 2 years, 40% is decentralized renewable energy, which means rooftop solar pumps. That figure in India is only 15%. So it's going to grow up multifold, but as you will hear from distribution companies who find it very difficult financially due to net metering, but their systems cannot absorb. This is a classic problem in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, where rooftop solar program has stopped. And we don't want DISCOMs to become the opponents of decentralized renewable energy. Because actually for the system, it is much better to do a much cheaper decentralized renewable energy as long as foundational IT architecture exists to manage that load, variability, and pricing in terms of various services like batteries and others that would need be needed. Number one. Number two, as Ashish was very rightly saying, AI is a buzzword. Everybody, you want to increase the valuation of a company, just add AI into that. We have to change that. We have to see what is it that makes a lot of sense, and one thing that is missing in India, but as we represent 125 countries, we see globally, there is no standard IT architecture of what are the different things that need to happen to actually reach use of AI. For example, I have African countries which want to do a digital twin without having a meter. I said, hello, it's not possible to even think about a digital twin if you don't have smart meters, you don't have basic SCADA and others. So we need a taxonomy that defines in your IT architecture what are the different phases that are essential prerequisites for you to start with basic digital equipment, then digitization, whether you are looking at elements of SCADA or others, and then digital twinning and a lot of other AI applications of that. So therefore, in this AI Summit, we launched a global AI mission for energy 2 days back. What are we really trying to do? First of all, I must confess, if those of you are not aware of it, I encourage you to see what India is trying to do through India Energy Stack. And what's very interesting about that is, those who just understand technology want to create a technology answer, but as we all know, technology is only an enabler until unless it can be mainstream in this. Then you have financiers like REC, you have policymakers like Mr. Ghanshyam Prasad who are talking at the big picture, you have Ministry of Power which is trying to see what it means in terms of RDSS, and you have DISCOMs who are saying, look, I must understand financially what's happening. All of them are trying to come together to A, create a nomenclature of all the 84 DISCOMs, B, come out which doesn't exist in the world, I must confess, because I have checked the entire OECD developed world, that is there a data policy for distribution in which every consumer which becomes a prosumer actually has a digitally signed certificate to allow to trade through cybersecurity. That doesn't exist in the world today. But India Energy Stack is trying that once you have the basic elements, can you actually create a form by which a lot of people because the future in 5 years is millions of people will have both rooftop and batteries and maybe looking at ways to do P2P trading as just happened. So we are trying to bring all of that as India Energy Stack as a gift of India to the world to do 5 things. Number 1, the standards that India decides must be harmonized with the world, because otherwise they'll become India standards. That's not how internet and other things came out. They have to be interoperable standards shared by the world. 2, something on skilling that was being discussed. We want to create an ISA academy that brings AI skills and electrical engineering skills together. We are now seeing across the countries, electrical engineers think of IT as second grade, and AI engineers do not understand electrical engineering. But the world needs to come together. So that, by the way, may itself need an AI-based learning management tools, in addition to great physical courses like IIM Lucknow you heard about. Third is startup ecosystem. Some of it is happening, as in happening in digital twin in Jaipur. It's being done, and I see Dhruv also here. A lot of digital twins are happening. But I think a lot of 1,000 flowers will have to bloom on trying to do different innovations on different startups. Our job is to connect India to the rest of the global south in all those startups. We ourselves have funded 70 startups. The fourth is what it means in terms of financing. A lot of patient capital is required for some of these pilots, procurement included, and we are trying to create a financing and de-risking facility of patient capital for doing some of it. And finally, document all the use cases. So there are digital twins that are being done in India. We are focusing a lot more on decentralized renewable energy only, but we want to document all the use cases. So 5 pillars: interoperability, skills, use cases of AI, startup ecosystem, and financing. All these 5, we actually have demand from about 3-4 discoms in India, maybe 5 or 6 other countries. But why we are very excited? Because the future of renewable energy will be intertwined with AI. And secondly, a lot of innovation will happen in the developing world, starting with India, to actually do it. So we really look forward to it. Thank you.
I will now request my colleague Disha, who was the project manager for this handbook, to make a quick presentation about what it contains. Over to you, Disha.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll just upload my presentation and then we'll start. So, give me a second. So, yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Disha Khosla from India Smart Grid Forum. I have the honor to present our handbook on AI, ML, AR, VR, and robotic solutions and roadmap for adoption in electric utilities. So this handbook, which we've already talked about, is a compilation of 174 successful use cases of these applications implemented by power utilities across 35 countries. So this will help the utilities in unlocking new efficiencies using AI, ML, AR, and these new technologies. So this handbook also analyzes global policies, regulatory frameworks, and evolving international standards. So most importantly, it provides a clear roadmap for the utilities based on their digital maturity levels. And so as I've told you that it has 174 successful use cases, which is further categorized under generation, transmission, distribution, system operations, power trading, robotic process automation, and security operations centers. And most of the data which we have got is mentioned in the main report and the appendices. So talking about the use cases, I'll just read out because we don't have time. So the use cases covered in this handbook are categorized across the entire power value chain, and it has predictive maintenance of the power infrastructure, renewable energy forecasting, grid management with DIA, power threat detection, dynamic load forecasting, integration of electric vehicles, power trading optimization, optimization of energy storage systems, tripping analysis at grid, substation level. And then we have distribution transformer monitoring, network reliability analysis, revenue maximization. So there are a lot. So whatever you name, we have covered almost everything across all power value. So talking about the structure of the use cases which we have presented in the handbook, the use cases are starting from the problem statement and we end to the achievements, almost covering everything which is important for a use case. Since most of the utilities did not share the cost and benefit, so we couldn't have the detailed cost benefit analysis for each use case. Talking about the key insights which we have gathered from these use cases, we have collected 174 global use cases, out of which we could see that the utilities have reported almost 15 to 40% reduction in unplanned outages, 10 to 25% reduction in O&M cost, 20 to 30% improvement in asset life, reduction in ATC losses, better renewable energy forecasting and grid integration, and improved grid reliability and resilience are the key other benefits. So the important takeaway which we had gathered or we could take from these use cases that there are very good use cases that a utility can start. Even at an early stage of their digitalization journey, there's no need to wait that we will become full digitalization will happen in a utility before implementing these solutions. Like we can start with ERP data for asset optimization, AR/VR for training and capacity building, call log analytics for improving customer engagements, and billing and collection data for revenue protection. So these are some of these things we can start. And in this handbook, we have not only covered the use cases, we have also focused on the global standards and governance which is there for these solutions. So globally, you can see that EU has already introduced world's first comprehensive AI Act in 2024. OECD promotes trustworthy AI principles. And this UK Energy Regulatory Ofgem has issued ethical AI guidelines. While Singapore has a practical AI governance framework. So global directions are very clear that AI must be transparent, accountable, safe, and human-centric. So this handbook covers every of these aspects in detail. You can just go through this handbook. We will share the link with you. And we also cover the Indian standards, which are being issued by BIS. And we have covered most of these in this handbook. Talking about the key gaps identified when we were studying these, we had categorized into 4, which is digital infrastructure gaps, regulatory and policy gaps, capacity and institutional gaps, financing and procurement challenges, which we have catered to through our roadmap. So talking about our implementation roadmap, you can see that after the detailed study which we had done about the global case studies, we could divide the DISCOMs into 3 categories, maturity levels, which is initiators, integrators, optimizers. So like Khanna sir said that we can categorize and see that which DISCOM is at which stage of maturity level, and then they can have those use cases implemented first. So then we have a phased roadmap also for this, which is divided into short-term goal, medium-term goal, and long-term goals. Now talking about these key recommendations, we have also given key recommendations for different type of stakeholders also, which is government and policy makers, regulators, utility leaderships, and technology providers. So now concluding my PPT and not taking much time, I would like to state that AI in the power sector is no longer an optional thing. It is becoming a foundation to grid resilience, renewable integration, and operational efficiency. And this is the time that the power utilities should leapfrog. Thank you very much. May I now request all the speakers and the panels, because we want to have a photograph so that we can distribute as a last at the time of memento. I'll request everyone to please, other panelists also I'll invite on the stage, please, so that we can just take a photograph quickly and then we can distribute as a memento at the last. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, over to Reena for moderating the panel. We are left with 10 minutes, but we'll take extra 10 minutes or 20 minutes.
The organizers are
No problem.
kind enough to give us more time.
We started late, so we'll take extra 10 minutes. So 20 minutes to you.
A very good afternoon, everyone. We will continue with our next panel, which is a very power-packed panel. I request our panelists to please join us on the dais. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Dwijadas Basak, CEO, Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited, Mr. Abhishek Ranjan, CEO, BRPL, Mr. Naveen Srivastava, Director Operations from Power Grid Corporation Limited, Ms. Jacqueline Kocharan, Associate Lab Director, US DOE National Lab of the Rookies, Mr. Siddharth Arora, Associate Partner, Clean Energy, Energiva Ventures Private Limited, and last but not the least, we have Mr. Prashant Dangash, CEO and co-founder of Impressa AI. I request please settle down, everyone. We have very less time left, and we need to get started with all our panelists. So we've heard powerful perspectives at the AI Summit in the last 2 days on the scale and urgency of India's energy transition. And the theme of the summit itself is impact. Nowhere is that impact more critical than in our energy sector. And leaders from around the world and the leaders who joined us in the previous session, they have emphasized on the fact that our path to $5 trillion economy is paved with green electrons. But those electrons will only flow reliably if they are directed by intelligent algorithms rather than manual interventions. And also this summit is built on sutras like people, planet and progress. And our session AI for Resilience is where these three meet all together. And when we talk about planet, we are talking about integrating renewables at a scale never seen before. And when we talk about progress, we are talking about AI-driven forecasting and automation, progress. And, that makes our utilities... आप उस साइड से आ जाइए, please. Yeah. When we talk about progress, we also want to talk about the AI-driven forecasting and automation that makes our utilities globally competitive. And most importantly, when we talk about people, we are talking about the future-ready skills. Our engineers need to lead this data-driven revolution, and our speakers have also highlighted the requirement of skill before we pave our way towards an AI-driven intelligent grid. And with this session today, we would like to focus on how we move from data-driven, data-rich utilities to AI-intelligent utilities. We have smart meters, sensors, a lot of DRs generating billions of data points coming up. But the true value lies in converting that data into grid flexibility and commercial efficiency. And our ISGF handbook reveals that our utilities are operationally ready for AI deployment. Many use cases we have seen which have field-proven case studies included, which are already defining the grid reliability. So therefore, the critical question I want to start with before the panel is the question for today's panel, which is that are we ready for AI? I think you will all agree that we are ready and we are getting there. But the real questions are, how do we move from pilots to enterprise-wide operations? And how do we ensure AI enhances resilience without creating new risks? And how do policy, regulations, and investment frameworks evolve alongside the technology? And with that, let me turn to our distinguished panelists. Let me invite Mr. Dwijadas Basakji, CEO TPDDL. Sir, TPDDL doesn't manage a grid, but they manage a massive digital ecosystem and serving 2 million consumers. And Mr. Basak, with the utility which has moved beyond pilots in analytics and automation, what are the key internal enablers, organizational, technological, and financial enablers that have allowed you to scale up AI from isolated use cases to enterprise-level operations? Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Rina. Basically, it's really the main question of the day today, and also the future. adoption of AI, we had been listening to AI, is not only a technology, this is not only a technology leap, it's not buying technology. It is basically having a disciplined transformation of the digitalization. You have a lot of data generated from the technology that you are adopting. Like for example, we in Tata Power DDL, what we did is that we had started this journey in 2005 through 2 10 years roadmap, and each roadmap was for a period of 10 years, so 20 years, and where we covered the entire journey from a smart grid to smart meters, the entire. And that gave us today entire transparency of the data from the grid to the customers. So I have each and every details. But what am I doing with the details? That is the main question. So the point is that terabytes of data is being sourced. It is being produced. But if I am not using it properly, it's of no use. The methodology that we had adopted is, as rightly said by, I think, Chairman CA was mentioning about that use cases. Chairman UPPCL was mentioning about Mr. Goel. Yes, we had gone for use cases, and for each use case, we used to do pilots. And by maturing the pilots, then we started scaling it up for the entire organization. And we did it for each and every aspect. It's not only grid. We started experimenting or handling data that we are generating from meter reading, simple meter reading, from the data we are generating from the disconnection, reconnection, the data that we are generating from debtors of consumers, disconnection, reconnection. By that we started predicting which consumers are going to default in the near future. And when I know which consumers have high probability of disconnection, of defaulting, I don't need to send team to each and every defaulter. I know these consumers are there who can pay. So these are the use, and I reduce my expenditure. I reduce my cost, O&M cost. For example, in AT&C loss, we had traveled a journey from 53% AT&C in 2002 when we took over. Today we are at less than 6%. How it has been achieved? It is basically by using the data that we had been generating from the AMR meters and using it in a very, very rational manner, logical manner. And whatever experience we were gaining, we were putting it back to the system to refine that logic. Now this process took a lot of time. What AI will do today is that this process the AI will do. The more you start giving data to the system, the AI will have a self-learning process by which what logical changes I am doing manually in the system today, that need not be done, that the AI will now do it, and that will be more perfect. So that is the advantage of having AI. In the grid part, yes, the entire grid, like starting from ADMS, GIS, smart meter data. Now these lots of data, now what we are trying to do is to create a data historian or a data lake where we'll put all the data, and from there we will have AI-enabled insights to create, AI-enabled systems to create insights which we can use for asset management, for network planning, for power procurement. And talking about power procurement, this is becoming a big challenge. On the grid will be having in the near future a lot of challenges due to EV penetration, then solar, then V2G or vehicle to grid, peer to peer. A lot of the grid is going to become huge, like heavily complicated. So we need automated system to control it. So from that perspective, I can tell you that AI will be required in the near future, but this term should not be misused. It is not simple using data. It is using data in a very, very disciplined manner, and the more good data you put in the system, the better insights you will get. The garbage in, garbage out concept. So thanks. That's my.
Thank you so much, Mr. Basak. I'll quickly move to, we have been given some extra time, but we'll quickly move to Abhishek Ranjanji, CEO of BRPL, to give his inputs. And, we had already discussed what we are looking forward to hear from him. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Reena and ISGF. Carrying forward from what Mr. Basak, my colleague, has said. See, utilities like us, DISCOMs, are sitting at a sweet spot convergence of grid and consumer. So what happens is consumers would expect us to behave and have similar experience, if not better, just like they're getting on other avenues. Like, for example, Amazon experience is there. Or maybe they have experiences with telecom providers like Airtel, Jio. They have their own ecosystem. So that is this kind of expectation. And then now the era of 10 minutes delivery, right? So Amazon Now or BB Daily, these kind of expectations are now being set. So that is one expectation which has to be met. 23 years ago, when both of us, TPDDL and BACS, we started our journey in Delhi, the expectation was completely different. Okay, so the expectation was 24/7 power availability, which was a rarity then. The network was in very poor and shabby, condition. Transformer burnouts were very normal. There were wire dangling here and there. Customer care was not existent. You had to travel to so many places to pay your bills, and you were not sure whether to pay the bill, where to pay, and how to pay. Now today, if you speak to the customers, they will say those things are done, fine, thank you. But then we want to move to the next orbital shift. In Delhi, you have multiple Delhis. You talk about South Delhi, the expectation is at par, if not better than global standards in North America, Europe, etc. They'll demand the same kind of thing they would have seen their relatives are there in, say, Frankfurt or maybe US. I mean, the same kind of expectations required. Then there is a rural Delhi, where still roti kapda makan, the basics. Okay, so I want power, that's it. So what I'm trying to say here is, the technology is to be leveraged to manage all these diverse kinds of expectations. I mean, we are serving multi-sets of consumer at the same time zone, and therefore technologies like AI are going to be helpful. Mr. Basak talked about so many AI-based applications, grid side, consumer side. I mean, I'll welcome you to ISA Pavilion. I mean, Mr. Ashish Khanna was here. And there, I think we have demonstrated 5 or 6 real live cases. You can actually have a hands-on. It's not a PPT. So this is how Tatas and BSEs we are doing. So, and then other utilities will also follow suit. So without taking much ado, to deliver the kind of performance required now from us, the artificial intelligence, machine learning, agentic, and then different kinds of AI, I mean classical, then you have generative, agentic, all these things are going to play. I think time is up. Over to you, Reena. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your inputs. I think we need 5 more minutes. We have very important more speakers to go. Please, I request organizers. And with that, let me invite Mr. Naveen Srivastava ji, Director Operations, PGCIL. PGCIL is managing the backbone of power systems. So over to you for your inputs, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, IGF, for inviting me for this discussion. I'll take up now, there were 2 giants from distribution sector. I'll take you to the, transmission sector. Power Grid used to be, first pioneer where the transmission started in India in 1989. This was the first public sector came out. And when we have started the transmission, I'll take you from there. I tell you in 1989, now we are in 2026. The thing is, the legacy has gone. We used to operate the transformers and transmission line that. Now it is getting increased from now 18 to now it is 290 substations and around 180,000 circuit kilometers. To operate these systems, it's not easy to do it manually. So we have to go in the path. It was necessity that we have to go in the digital path. That started in 2014 when we decided that we'll operate all the substation by remotely. But it was a difficult task. But now you can see that all the substation not only operated digitally from the one stations. This is the journey started. We have now we have a system totally AI enabled. We have come out. Let me take you in the two directions. One is from the grid operation part. When grid operation was with us, we have come out with the AI-based, renewable energy management system, because renewable energy was coming up. So based on the geographical data and atmospheric data, now the scheduling has been done from that area. We are going for the transmission line substation. We have already digitalized the first digital substation made by PowerGrid. It is in 765 kV level. It is in Navsari. Similarly, in the line side also, we are making a digital line which we call as a DLL. That's the first pilot project we have done it. So this is where we are moving it. The first, we have gone for, not only to operate that, we require the data's like frequency, voltage in our hands. So we have gone for VMS system. It is already PMUs have allotted in the whole of India. I'm telling you, not only for us, it is also for the STUs also we have put it like that way. So this is the part where the grid operation was resilient was required. Second part is to be how we manage the assets in the form, because it's not, we have at least, I'm telling you, at present I'm having around 40 terabyte data. Terabyte data, it's not easy to, unless these we are going for AI based. So we have all the system which we are called IoT or you call digital tunes. We have the system we have adopted in our all HVDC have a digital tune. AC system is coming up. Similarly, we have gone for IoT system. Now we are operating with the pump. There is robots in the substations. They are moving and they are taking the data. This is very much required for the transparency of the data. And now it is these operation we have done. Now part is the analysis is to be done, because we have to reduce the outage rates. We have already reduced 99.82% is there. Now further analysis we are going for asset performance management. It's an AI tool. It's a generative AI. But how it is to be operated in the electric power sectors, we are coming up with that, and you'll see that in next 3 years the analysis and the operations will be digitalized. So I mean to say that this is a not only requirement now, it is a necessity now. Unless you come out with that, it will not be possible. And you will see that they are coming up. We have the use cases. I have almost not less than around 15, 16 use cases we have already shown to ministry, and it is being adopted. Not only some. And we are going for some pilot projects also. We have COE with the academia also, with the ISC also. And we are coming in the cyber security also, how we can use it.
Thank you.
I want to say is that it is very much required, and we are, anybody can come out in PowerGrid and we can show you the use cases.
Thank you so
madam.
much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Srivastav. I request the next section. Please we need 2 more. We have 2 guests to still give us their interventions. And quickly, over to Ms. Jacqueline Pushrin for international perspective, on this topic, please.
I will just be
we can
very,
keep it brief,
I
but
will be
yeah,
very
we would want to
quick.
hear from you.
I work for the Department of Energy's national labs. We work on big challenges, 10-year timeframes, and we are working on using AI to rethink all the aspects of grid planning and operations and data. And this is a fabulous handbook that gives you a great start. I really want to congratulate ISGF on that. And then I will just leave you with one teaser. If you could just imagine redoing, how do we connect generation and load, large generation, small generation to the grid? Today, we do it interconnection study by interconnection study, but with AI, we can flip that. And we can look instead at where do we have needs on the grid, and then have a continuous online system that communicates that to developers so that they know what to bring, and we can get rid of all the interconnection queues.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. And last but not the least, just one more industry perspective. Quickly, if you can keep it a little brief, Mr. Prashant, the Dasgupta, please, over to you.
Sure. So, I come from the other side. As Reena mentioned, I come from the technology side. We provide technology solutions, AI solutions to DISCOMs. One of the big challenges that people have is use cases. I think Reggie and team have done a great job with this. and it will make everyone's life easy. However, everyone gets overwhelmed by this, right? What all they're supposed to do. My recommendation always has been start small. Don't try to do everything. It's not going to replace your legacy system. Start with a practical use case for an area that makes sense to you. You have data and see the impact. A lot of people get overwhelmed thinking about everything. Hey, do we need a data lake house? Do we need to overwhelm our legacy system? Do we need a very clean data? No, you don't need all that. What you need is a simple problem that you think is important for you. If you don't have a great quality data, still you can start, right? The new models are fairly efficient in eliminating the noise, and we can start from there, have practical results, and move forward. One of our customers, when we started, they started with smart meter operations. Today they are running about 22 models. So all I'm saying is start small, you can get there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and please give a big round of applause to all our esteemed panelists. Please, do we have the photography? Can we have a quick group picture here?
Thank you everyone for joining us and having the patience for this long session. It was quite insightful to have you all over here. A kind attention please. This is to inform you that all sessions will get over by 4:20 p.m. today, and all participants are requested to exit the Bharat Mandapam premises by 4:20 p.m. So the expo will remain open till 8 p.m. so you can